Rob, we started last week by asking about goals, and I presume one has really come very clearly into view since we last spoke.
Well, obviously, I mean, we're in 7th place at the moment, so we're holding on to the final qualifying spot, which seems to be pretty clear now that there's going to be a playoff in the 1 or 2 weeks following the end of the season for 7th place. So, yeah, obviously, I suppose it's in our hands now. But our approach this week is going to be very much like last week, where we're just going to maximise the opportunity this week of playing 80 minutes in the Premiership. You know, that suits us to be like that. It suits us to be very single-minded about a single game. It stood us in very good stead at Worcester, and I'm sure that it'll stand us in good stead here this week against Sale.
Just 3 games left to play. Is it a little bit frustrating that it's taken this long for some sort of definite decision to be made?
No, not really. I mean, the reality is we knew you'd got to be in the top half of the league if you want to play in the main cup competition. We've known that from the start of the season. If anything, this is just something that we've been fortunate has dropped in at the last moment for us, because we want to play in the top level European competition, and you know it does throw us a bit of an extra lifeline. I mean, mathematically we can still finish 6th, but realistically, you know, we're going to have hell of an end of these last 3 games to get that many points, and obviously Sale are going to have a pretty disappointing 3 games. So for us, that's what I'm saying, it's more about focusing on this game and then seeing what our points add up to at the end, you know, in a few weeks' time, and if we're in 7th place, great, and we'll enjoy going over to France, and we'll enjoy getting a team somewhere to play against us over here. But as I say, you know, it's more important that we just concentrate on this game, because you know Sale are having a good season, they're a good side, they've got things to prove for themselves, to cement themselves in the top 6. So as I said, it's not really about looking what's going to happen in 3 games' time. It's about, you know, what's going to happen at 5:30 this Saturday.
At least you've got an opportunity to take some points off them.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, the truth is, the 7th place is in our hands. You know, we're there at the moment, so we've just got to get more points than the people around us. Now, that's a challenge. You know, we got some tough games. You know, Sale here, Quins here, you know, Newcastle away. But at the same time, you know, and that's against teams that have had something to fight for. You know, both Sale and Harlequins are fighting for either European qualification or fighting for top 4 place. Newcastle could well be fighting to avoid relegation in a few weeks' time. But you know, that said, we went to Worcester and put in a very good performance at times against a team that's, you know, fighting like dogs to avoid relegation. So you know, we can deal with that bit of pressure, and I think what we've got to do is enjoy doing what we do. You know, the weather's nice now, the pitches are firm. You know, we like to play attacking rugby, and for us it's about being brave enough to ram that home.
2 of the last 3 are at home. How significant could that be?
Well, it should be significant, you know, if your home form's good. Ours hasn't always been as good as it needs to be, you know. So what we have to do is we have to play in a way that makes it significant, and we get the results we need, and that's a challenge. But then, you know, it's what Premiership rugby's about. You know, it should be a challenge, and that's what we've said to the players a few times now, that you know we should actually be enjoying this time of year because we're in the Premiership, not necessarily because you need an extra motivator or there's a cup final resting on it, but because you know Exeter being in the Premiership is an important thing to us, and I think we kind of saw that again last week. And you know, sometimes you just, you know, even myself, you need to sit back and remember that this is what it's all about. You know, we worked extremely hard to be in the Premiership, and we've got to make sure we relish every single minute of every single game.
Looking injury-wise?
Yeah, the usual bumps and bruises. I mean, you know, that's kind of what you get at this stage of the season. Kind of as you lose one, you gain one. It's a little bit like that. Obviously, you know, Don's ankle injury was relatively severe, so he probably won't be involved this week. But everything else is bumps and bruises, and we're monitoring it day by day.
Jason Schumacher, Tom Candicky both moving on. Just thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Jason's been an absolutely fantastic servant of the club. You know, he's done so much good stuff for us. You know, he was a man we kind of highlighted when we came into the Premiership as being someone who would give us that extra special something in midfield. You know, both a solidity in defence, but also, you know, an attacking and an understanding of the higher levels of rugby. He's made a lot of appearances for us. He's had a lot of very, very positive effects on how we've been as a Premiership side and a Heineken Cup side, and the success we've had. And you know, it's unfortunate that, you know, when a guy comes in and emotionally buys into the club as much as Jason has, that, you know, time comes to move on. But you know, at the same time, you know, that happens to everybody, and he's had an absolutely fantastic career at Exeter. And you know, I know you know, all the supporters and all the other players and staff will join in with me saying that, you know, thank you very much to him for what he's done for us. But there are still 3 important games left, and you know, and I'm sure, you know, Shuey will play an important part on what's coming. But you know, he's been fantastic for us, and obviously we wish him all the best for the future. When
he actually came, I mean, how significant was bringing in a name such as Jason Schumacher in bringing up some of the players that have followed?
Yeah, I'm not sure about whether it affected people who follow, but I think for us at the time, we highlighted an area where we wanted to add some real quality to the side. We spent a lot of time not panicking into getting people when we got promoted from the championship. And I've told people plenty of times before, on the bus on the way home from Bristol to Sandy Park, I must have had 50 text messages and 60 emails and whatever about players who were potentially available, and we didn't go for any of the guys that were kind of lumped at us straight away. We took our time. People were aware we didn't bring that many people in. We brought Luke Scott and James Phillips in from Bristol, Chris Whited in from London Welsh, but then we bided our time, and we knew the core of the players we had here were good and would get better in the Premiership, but we did know we had to add that bit of quality, and guys like Jason Schumacher and Sorelli, who came in and did an absolutely fantastic job for us.
And how happy are you with the squad as it's shaping up for next season?
Yeah, very happy. We've still got a little bit of leeway to add some more players if we feel so. I'd be happy with the squad we've got now, and again, in a similar position, we're not desperately looking to find someone just to fill squad numbers, but what we will do is we'll keep looking hard to, there's still a possibility of adding one, maybe two players, if exactly the right player becomes available.
Thank you, Rob.